morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be, whatever you may be doing. Hello, and welcome to this session. My name is Tariro Mundawarara. I'm host of Stories from the Soul and author of the Circling Back newsletter and a teacher here on Insight Timer. I try to help people rebuild a trusting, compassionate relationship with themselves. Essentially, so they can meet life with whatever it throws or brings from a place of inner stability, clarity, and presence. So, really, it's about establishing that relationship with yourself, yourself. 2 words, capital S. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I haven't done anything in this place and space before. Yeah, we're going to do something a bit different today. And it's not just a meditation, so it's a practice complete. So, what we'll do is there's essentially 3 parts to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to explore what you want in 2026. And not from a place of pressure or performance, but from a place of deep listening. So, the first part will identify what you truly want, not what you think or what you should, but what really feels true and resonates with you. So that'll probably be about 10, 15 minutes. Then we will drop into a guided visualization and a meditation to just really help you feel into that future, to embody it, to let it land in your body, and just to really capture the essence of what you truly are wanting to place on your vision board. And then lastly, I'll walk you through, from my perspective and the research that I've done, how to create a vision board and how to create a vision board that supports this work, not as a wish list or, a shopping list in many ways, but as a daily anchor back to yourself and your intentions and essentially what you'd like to see for yourself, for your family in 2026 and beyond. So, just wanted to just kind of outline my experience with vision board. I did my first vision board in 2021, going into 2022. And it was a time of quite a lot of upheaval for me, to be honest and to be blunt. I was in a foreign country, going through some stuff at work, and really having to embody the phrase, trust the process. My wife was pregnant at the time, and it was a really, on the surface, quite a stressful time. I did my vision board, and I thought about sharing it. But to be honest, it's quite a personal one to me. So I decided to just explain it instead. And I went through it, and honest truth, at least 60% of everything that I placed on the vision board has come to fruition, including moving from where we were to South Africa, because I fully appreciate, especially the guys in the States. So, yeah, circling back. And so I am a pretty firm believer in them. I'm a pretty firm believer in the power of what they do and how they can hold and support you. And, I'll talk a bit about it in the first part. It's not some magical, mystical thing. There is actually true base science behind the whole concept of a vision board. And the thing which was quite really floored me, to be honest, is that you know we didn't know, we've never signed up for wanting to know if we're getting a boy or a girl. First child was a son, and speaking for myself, who'd wanted a daughter as the second. Um, on my vision board, I had an image of the family, son, daughter, myself, my wife, and then a separate image with me and a daughter. And lo and behold, a daughter showed up. And yeah, it's very easy to come up with reasons and rationales behind that. Suffice to say, you know, that's what happened. So, without further ado, let's jump into it and I'll stop my nattering. So, before we begin, I want us to just begin to settle into this container and into this space. And I want to say one thing, and that is that this work is not about fixing yourself. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you already are and outlining a year that reflects that authentic truth. So let's drop into the practice, and we'll drop into the practice by simply allowing everything to slow down and become present. So find yourself either seated or lying down. And just set the direction for your body to slow down. Just say that silently to yourself. It's time to slow down. And allow your body through your breath to just take the lead. This is the first lesson in releasing control. And just release it. And as we do that, I want us to find a spot in front of us. Focus in on it. Bring all your focus, all your attention to it. And I want you to identify and say it out softly, gently to yourself what it is and where you are. So as an example, I'm looking at the top of a ruler and I'm in Cape Town, South Africa. And what that does, it allows us to just bring ourselves to this present moment. What we're looking at, where we are. And it helps funnel the brain, funnel the mind, focus on the now, the here, the present. What we're going to do is we're going to take a psychological sigh. So deep breath in through the nose, hold it at the top for a count to 5. Take one gasp of air in and then an audible sigh out. We'll do that twice. I will lead 2, and then on the 3rd, do it in your own time. Let's begin. Deep breath in through the nose. Hold it at the top. Gasp in and sigh out. Straight away into it again. Inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top. Gasp in and sigh out. Inhale again in your own time. And with that, find yourself dropping into this container of this practice. Leave, as the song says, all your worries at the door. And just allow yourself that precious moment and opportunity to simply be right here, right now. And we'll just do one final deep breath in and then a slow exhale out. We'll close our eyes. And on the exhale, we'll open our eyes and we'll drop into the container and begin. So close your eyes, inhale through the nose. And a long sigh and breath out. Open your eyes. Let's begin. So what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to think about 2026. And apologies if you don't already. What you're going to need is some paper, writing paper, notebook, printer paper, pen, pencils, and also then access to the web or magazines that kind of speak to you, things that you like doing. If you're a gardening person, if you're a interior design person, if you're a sports person, grab a House and Home, Gardener, Sports Illustrated, ESPN, whatever it is. Just take some time now to just pull those things together, but importantly, the pen and paper. I'll just give you a few moments to do that. Apologies, I should have said that at the beginning. Right, so 2026, what do you want to feel more of this year? Not the things that you don't want to do, not what you want to have, but how you want to feel. How you want to feel. As I said at the beginning, this isn't a laundry list. This is tapping into that authentic voice to give truth, honesty to where you're going. And perhaps it's peace that you want to feel. Perhaps it's enjoyment. Perhaps it's freedom, connection, groundedness. There's no right answer here. Just really notice what arises when I ask the question, what do you want to feel more of this year? And write it down. Write it down. What do you want to feel more of this year? This isn't you know, an order. It's really speaking to, yes, it is an intention. And perhaps what it is that you're seeking just hasn't arisen as yet. Or perhaps it's just not really for you. No matter how much you may want it, you know, perhaps the universe just has a different agenda for you. I hope that makes sense. So, what do you want to feel more of this year? Just jot down no more than 8 things. So, now, once you've done that, let's bring in some structure. I'm going to guide you through a few areas of life. And as I name each one, just notice what comes up for you. You don't need to force anything, just listen to your body. And if it helps, close your eyes, place one hand on your heart, one hand on your gut, or wherever it is that you feel most connected to self. And really feel what comes up when I go through these things. So we'll start with health. How do you want to feel in your body this year? When I say vitality, what does that feel like for you? What does rest feel like? Just jot those down. Next, relationships. How do you want to feel with the people you love? Be that your family, your friends, your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. How do you want to feel with those people? And what does connection feel like? And a key one for me is, what does being seen feel like? How do you want to feel with the people you love? What does connection feel like? What does being seen feel like? And if you want, you can, make a note for perhaps a bit later on to actually just split out who those people are. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your friends, it's your work colleagues, it's your partner, whatever it is. And then work and purpose. How do you want to feel in your work? Whether that's a job, whether it's a creative practice, a hobby, something else. Maybe you're building a boat, redoing your house. What do you want to feel like? And what does fulfillment feel like there? And what does contribution feel like? How do you want to feel in your work? What does fulfillment feel like? And what does contribution feel like? And then personal growth. How do you want to feel as you move through this year? How do you want to feel as you move through this year? What does trust feel like? When I say the word becoming, what does becoming feel like? Let's jot those down. And here I want to bring up something which a friend of mine spoke about. And I really watched 2025 and it did flow like that. The seasons and themes of the seasons through the year. So the first part of the year for me was about curiosity. It was acceptance. It was understanding. I guess I closed the year with enjoyment. And one just to think about is just really look at the seasons that you go through this year. How do you want to feel as you move through this year? And what does becoming feel like? Now, just take a moment to notice all the feelings that came up. And which one really feels the most alive, the most true? Perhaps just a single word, but what is the feeling that really spoke to you? And that's your anchor. That's your North Star for 2026. If I just recount from my side, to start off with, I had joy, connection, presence, love, health, peace, curiosity, openness. And the North Star for me is actually presence and openness. Openness has shown up quite a lot for me these last couple of weeks. And I was listening to something, I'll probably do a talk about it. Openness was talking about, what does it feel like to have an open heart? And the way it was described to me was it feels like when you think about a person who you really love, who you really care about, partner, child, sibling, parent, that feeling that you have, that's openness. And I went even further to sit and say, if you then look at any of the issues or the problems that you have, and as you're wanting to address or think them through or ponder them, go to that place in your heart and be open and see what that sounds like, feels like. The last question, Michaela, was of all the feelings that came up, which one feels the most alive? Which one feels the most true? And that is your North Star. That's your North Star for 2026. And here's the important part, this feeling already exists within you. It's not new. Okay, you're not trying to create it from scratch. You're not trying to become someone or something new or different. You're simply remembering what it feels like to be home with self. Yeah. So let's move into a bit of academic here and just to kind of talk a bit about, dare I call it, the science of this. I wanted to just share something with you, something that neuroscience has taught us about how vision boards actually work. And out there, you'll probably find it. There's a talk by Andrew Huberman about this. And you see, our brains receive roughly about 11 million bits of information every second from all of our senses in our body. But we can only consciously process about 50 of those bits. So that's a big difference, 11 million to only harnessing 50. So the question is, how does the brain decide what to pay attention to? And there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS, reticular activating system. And that acts like a filter. It simply decides what's important and what gets through to your conscious awareness. And here's the key: your RAS is shaped by what you focus on. I'll say it again: your RAS is shaped by what you focus on. So, a simple practical example, you know, um, if you all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but if you like a certain type of car, you see it on an ad or someone talks to you about it, or, you know, you like a pair of jeans or trainers, you'll typically notice that all of a sudden you're starting to see that color and that type of car all over town. You're seeing more people wearing those trainers. You're seeing those jeans being worn by everybody on the street. You're seeing this more often than you were before. And so when you create a vision board and when you look at images that represent how you want to feel, when you look at images that represent who you want to become, what you want to experience, you're essentially training your RAS to notice opportunities that align with that vision. And you're not manifesting through magic, through some dark art. You're manifesting through attention. And you're teaching your brain to see what is actually already there. Okay, some of the practices that I do, we talk about, you know, we started today about focusing in on something. And a variation of that is to really bring intense focus and to start to see the layers that were always there in that object, but you just don't see them because, you scan a room, you see a picture, you see a bottle, you see a cup with some pencils and some scissors in it, but you're not picking up the detail. That's RAS. And this is the thing: a vision board is not a wish list. It's not about collecting images of things you want and hoping they appear. It's about anchoring yourself in the feeling of your future and then taking aligned action from that place. Hence, I spoke a lot about feeling, not how much money you wanted in your bank account, what car you wanted to drive. I really spoke about feeling. So, in the next part of this practice, we're going to drop into that feeling. And we're going to let your body experience what 2026 feels like so that when it comes to you creating your vision board, it's not abstract, it's embodied. Let's use our breath to transition. And what I want us to do is I want us to breathe in deeply through the mouth and hold. And I want us to exhale long out from the mouth again. So we'll inhale for 4 seconds. And then really exhale for 6. And the next time we do it, we're going to exhale and try to exhale for 8 seconds. And what that does, it just allows the brain to slow down some more. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. And a long exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. And an exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe. And what I'd like you to do now is to just close your eyes. Settle back into your body. And what I typically do, sometimes it's difficult to remember what comes up in a practice like this. If you have another device, a phone, a tablet, just turn your voice note on. And when the questions and images that I speak about in the guided practice come up, just say them out so that you can capture them. So again, just take a few moments to just go and set that up, get another phone, another device, just hit record. Great if you're listening to me on headphones. That way there won't be anything else other than your voice when it matters. Okay, so hopefully you have that. And let's close our eyes. Settle back into your body. If you need to just stretch, roll your neck. Place your hands on the inside of your knees if you're sitting down. If you're lying down, place them gently by your side. If you're wearing glasses, remove your glasses. And now just feel the weight of your body. Feel the chair, the floor, the bed, the mat. Let your shoulders drop. Soften your jaw. And simply notice your breath. Notice it moving in. Notice it moving out. Notice your chest expanding. Feel your chest contracting. Now I want you to see yourself standing at the edge of a quiet lake. The water is still. The air is cool. The air is crisp. The sky is soft. Perhaps it's dawn, perhaps it's dusk. Whichever one feels right for you, you decide. And where you are alone here. But by by no stretch of the imagination are you lonely. And as you stand at the edge of the lake, I want you to see that the water reflects not who you are now, but who you are becoming. Look into the water in the lake and see yourself. But see yourself in 2026. Allow the water to be a medium showing you what's to become. What do you look like? How do you carry yourself? What's different about your energy? Now, step into the water. And as you do, feel the temperature surrounding your feet, coming up to your ankles, up your shins, to your knees. It's cool, it's refreshing, it's grounding, it's earth supported. And with each step, you move deeper into this version of self. And as you move deeper, I want you to feel into the emotion you identified earlier. That anchor feeling, whatever it was. Really bring that back and out now. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's joy, perhaps it's freedom. Whatever it is, breathe it in. So we're going to do a brief breathing exercise, and I want you to breathe in that feeling. And I want you to exhale and release whatever you feel the opposite is of that feeling. Whatever you feel is constraining you. So as an example, you may inhale and say, I am peace. And exhale, I release the need to force. You may inhale, I am joy. I release the need to perform. I am free. I release the need to control. Just take some time now to really connect with that inhale of the anchor feeling and an exhale of what doesn't feel true to that. In your own time, I'll watch the clock and I'll tell us and guide us through to the next stage. If you just start to wrap it up, last inhale and exhale with what your anchor is and what you're releasing. And now, as you stand in this water, I want you to notice what's around you. What does your life look like in 2026 and beyond? See yourself in your daily life. Perhaps you're waking up in the morning. Where are you? What does the light look like? What's around you? Who's around you? Where are you? See yourself where you're working. What are you doing? How does it feel as you're doing it? And see yourself with your partner or with someone you love. Who are they? What does connection with them feel like? Don't force the images, just let them arrive. And this is where I was saying, just repeat to yourself out loud what it is that you're seeing. See yourself in your daily life. And as these images come, notice, how does this version of you feel? The one that you're seeing in the lake. How do they feel? Not just happy, this version, not just successful, but truly, how do you feel in your body? Do you feel light? Do you feel grounded? Do you feel expansive? Do you feel open? Breathe that feeling deeper into your body. Really allow it to capture. Let it land in your chest and let it settle in your belly. Let it truly sink and root in your bones from your head down to the soles of your feet. Really allow yourself to embody it. And this isn't a future feeling, this is a present feeling. You're not waiting for 2026, for this year to feel this way. You're inviting it in now. And let's take 3 deep breaths here. And on each inhale, I want you to draw this feeling deeper in. And on each exhale, I want you to release any doubt of it being possible. So breathe in that feeling is already yours, and breathe out that you trust the process. In your own time, and say it out loud, softly and gently to yourself so that you can hear it in your own words. Draw this feeling in deeper on the inhale, and on the exhale, release any doubt that it's possible. Now, let's begin to step back out of the water. And as you do that, carry this feeling with you. You're not leaving it behind. You're bringing it back into your body, into this moment, into this day, this week, this month, this year. Feel physically your feet on the ground, wherever you are. If you're lying down, feel your legs against the surface that's supporting you. Feel the breath in your chest and feel the weight of your body. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, and remember that you are here, you are home. And bring this feeling out of this practice with you now. What we'll do is we'll inhale through the nose and a gentle exhale out through the mouth, and open our eyes and bring ourselves out of the meditation. So inhale and a gentle exhale. Open your eyes. Bring yourselves back. Right. If you haven't already, just take some time to just kind of note down, jot down what came to you from that practice. As we move now into the final part And let's just take some time now to feel and to notice how you feel. Perhaps you feel calm. Perhaps you feel present. Perhaps you feel open. That North Star, that anchor feeling, which we spoke about in the first part, I'll that's what you feel like more now. And if not, whatever it is that you feel right now, that is perfect. And let's move into this final portion. And this portion probably take some time to take notes, ask me questions, because this is the practical side. And we'll talk now about how to take this feeling that you have and anchor it into something tangible, i.e., your vision board. So you can create a vision board digitally or physically. I usually do mine digitally. I'll jump onto the net. I will search for some images, copy the images, and drop them into a simple Word document. Perhaps you like cutting and you like the physicality of creating it and putting it onto, some hardened cardboard or even just some paper, whatever it is. What matters is that it feels good and right and correct for you. And there's no great secret or trick to this part, to be totally honest. We've done the hard work in terms of identifying what it is that we want. Now we're simply visualizing it. And the important thing is here, and just please do remember this, that, the important part is that you're not choosing images of things that you want. Oh, I want a 60-inch TV. No, you're choosing images that evoke the feeling you want to experience. For example, if your anchor feeling is peace, maybe you choose an image of a quiet morning, a moonlit still lake, a cup of tea, or somebody meditating. If your anchor feeling is connection, maybe you choose an image of two people laughing, walking hand in hand, or simply sitting together in silence, or having a meal together. And if it was freedom, maybe you choose an image of an open space, a field, just before or after harvest. Perhaps a person dancing freely, smiling, or a road stretching into the horizon. The images you choose should make you feel something when you look at them, not something you want to possess. And don't just put images of the outcome. Include images of the process, the daily actions, the rituals. If you want to focus more on your morning ritual, get some of those images. Images of those moments that will help you get to that feeling. If you want to feel healthier, you know, include an image of someone doing yoga or a salad or someone walking in nature. This just helps your brain see that the journey is just as important as the destination. And to be honest, from my perspective, the journey is the best part. For a very long time, I was destination focused, but I'm now most definitely journey focused. And if you want, you can add words or phrases that anchor you back to your intention. I am enough, I am open, I'm present, I trust the process, I'm home, self with a capital S. These act as reminders, little nudges back to the feeling you're cultivating. And what I would do is have that anchor feeling be the main headline for your vision board. And then the non negotiable, place your vision board where you will see it every single day. It works if you're looking at it. To put it as phone, wallpaper, background on your laptop, in the bathroom, above your desk, inside your wardrobe, somewhere that you'll see it every single day. And remember the academic bit. We're training the RAS, the reticular activating system, to notice opportunities that align with this vision. The more you see it, the more your brain will filter the 11 million and look at the 50 which best take you to your vision. And then, this is almost a paradox. Once you've created your vision board, you have to let it go. And what I would do is do it. And then the sighing exercise, which we did at the beginning, deep inhale through your nose, hold it for 5, last gasp of air, and an exhale. Do that once or as many times as you need to. And just leave and set that intention, a sail for the year. You can't be attached to how it happens or when it happens. You simply need to trust that by anchoring yourself in the feeling, taking action, staying open, the universe will meet you halfway. It's never about control, it's about co-creation. So you do your part by setting the intention and you let go and trust the process. So, in closing, what I want you to take away from today, and again, thank you so much for being here. And visioning is not about becoming someone new. It's about coming back to who you already are and designing a year that reflects that truth. The vision board is not a wish list, it's a daily anchor back to yourself. It's a reminder that you're not waiting for 2026 to feel the way you want it to feel. You're inviting it in right now, whether it's January 2nd, January 3rd for you. You're not chasing a future version of yourself. You're becoming her, him, right now in this moment. So, let's take one final deep breath in. We'll inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. So, deep inhale and an exhale. Deep bows to you all. And thank you so much for spending this hour with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for self. Thank you for trusting this process. And thank you for your time. I really wish you the best for this year. Take this feeling with you. Remember that. Remember always that you are seen, the first and most important person to see you is yourself. And remember that you are home. Thank you, everybody.